All right, the Dawgs beat the Gators again. Matt, they won.
Yeah, fourth game in a row, fourth big win against the Gators, 7 out of 8. That's a big deal.
Oh.
And the story of this game was obviously Carson Beck's 3 interceptions that were all on him. He's got to play better. We're going to dig more into that, but I do think it's necessary to talk about the defense first. I think the defense led the way in this 34-20 win. And the running game in the second half, we saw some Nate Frazier come in, make a lot of plays for an injured Trevor Etienne. Cash Jones trucking a couple Gators at the goal line. That was awesome. Cashing in money in the bank there on those Gators. But, yeah, this was a full 4-quarter game. It was...
I was surprised by that. I'm not going to lie.
20-20 with 4 minutes left. Carson Beck had a drive when they needed him to. We're going to talk about the 3 interceptions because it does seem like they may have a quarterback problem right now because he's playing, it seems like, worse and worse. But when they needed him most, when the game was tied, he came through. I'll keep down here. Down here. Okay. No one wants to see this mug anyway. I get it.
What is happening here?
Just more Jacksonville nonsense. But
that's a great way to put it.
He made some throws, Ryan, down the stretch.
You can go around them.
You
have this lane.
Yeah.
This is that Marietta BS.
Gwinnett County?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Matt.
This is that Cobb BS.
They scored 28 points in the second half. So the offense did have 400-plus yards of total offense. They averaged 6.2 yards a play. That's really good. I thought they played well as a team. Carson Beck did not, and he's kind of holding the offense back right now.
Yeah, I mean, I said it at the end of Leggy's thoughts. The offense is inconsistent. The offense is at times not good. They're winning games despite that, right? So what happens when they do put a complete game on offense or a close to / mistake-free football game? They could be crushing these teams. They are much better than Florida, all right? Yeah. Florida ran the ball well on them, 1 drive. The rest of it was just kind of pieced together throughout the game. They had 112-ish rushing yards, and there was a good chunk of that came on that 1 drive.
112 yards
yes,
rush.
And they had around 100, and they had about the same amount passing. And that backup quarterback Warren that came in, right? That came
16,
in,
I don't
16, know. Doesn't matter.
No, he doesn't.
7 for 22 passing.
Yeah,
right?
He just could not do that.
DJ Lagway was 2 for 6 passing before he got hurt. Obviously, he hit the big shot, busted coverage there. Busted coverage, and then that one drive where there were penalties. Yeah.
This game changed on a dime.
It did? Totally. It did. You're right about that.
Like a lot of games, Georgia beat Florida in 1 quarter again, and that was kind of...
The fourth?
The third. They took control of the game in the third. Yeah. Maybe you can't say that as much, but they took control of the game in the third with Nate Frazier and Cash Jones as touchdowns. They brought a spark. Hurts that Etienne goes out with an injury, but you're straight through until you get on 10.
Oh, we're going on 10?
Yeah, we're going on 10. We're going to the west side.
Okay, gotcha.
Look, defensively, that's what's keeping them in Texas, Clemson.
Yeah.
The offense doesn't have to play that well when the defense plays really well, and it is a team sport, and that's fine. We are nitpicking. They are winning games by multiple scores. Same conversation we're having tonight as we did against Texas with Texas a couple of weeks ago. They win by 2 scores despite the offense playing bad. I think I literally saw an ESPN headline or some sort of headline on social media that Georgia beat Texas 30-15 despite Carson Beck 3 interceptions. Well, you can put the exact same headline this week. Despite the Carson Beck 3 interceptions, they win by 2 scores. So he's not playing well. He's regressing. That is a fact. He's making mistakes that a fifth-year senior should not be making, especially when you saw that he didn't make a lot of those mistakes last year. You can't – we're past the point of saying it's because they don't have Brock Bowers and Lamb McConkey. He's got to play better. Now, I don't think he's done anything that's and if this was a different situation, I don't think he's done enough to get benched. And people are calling for him to get benched. Exactly, right? Kirby would have done that by now if he wasn't the best person out there for them, because he has been part of the reason why they're struggling. I don't know if he just needs to settle down. If there's something that now
he does settle down a little bit.
The run game will make it easier. They didn't run very well at the beginning of the game. You're going straight through this. You're going straight through this. In a half a mile, you're going on to 10 west.
On the right?
It'll be towards your right.
It says 10 west. Take a left here.
That's not true.
I will.
Straight.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
Sorry, man.
Take that. Steve Jobs did not die for this.
Take that. That's
But take the sack. Don't throw the ball up.
Third interception.
To all willy-nilly to anyone. Take the sack. He's playing frantic, Dean. He doesn't look as clean, as efficient, as confident as he did last year, and it is worrisome. That was the word I used earlier. Worrisome. Troublesome.
Over here.
You need to get in the right lane. The middle lane.
Hey, Carson, just play better. I like Carson. I think he's a very good quarterback. He's always been cool to me. I've known him for a long time, which has nothing to do with anything. Hey, listen, just play better. That's all. That's it. That's it. That solves a lot of problems that Georgia's got right now. But that's all he's got to do, man. There's no reason to come in here and start screaming and throwing chairs and stuff.
How can you play better if you're not seeing that defender in zone coverage?
Well, I don't think that's a giant problem. I think throwing it into two-man coverage is a problem.
And it's something that we've seen on several occasions.
I think Carson knows vastly more about football than I ever thought about. But one of those mistakes is not like the other. If you literally don't see someone, that's a problem.
Well, I think all three of the interceptions were different interceptions.
They were all different types of interceptions.
Correct.
Different types, yeah.
Correct.
And all three were an issue.
So let me just add this real quick, which is that this is not excuse making at all. It is an Look, I've done this for a long time, y'all. I've done this for a quarter century now. Georgia quarterbacks go through this. They don't all go through this, but they all go. Well, Aaron Murray did. I can tell you that right now. Matthew Stafford did for sure too. And then okay, we got this.
You see that?
Part of this is the crucible of playing football as the starting quarterback at Georgia. Everybody knows you. Everybody's an expert. It's what it is.
I thought we were experts.
We are alleged experts. Everyone else is experts in quotations. Oh my gosh. Look, it's there. I think Arian Smith played a pretty good game, to be honest with you, and he's been beat up a lot, deservedly so in many ways. These bridges, I want to just say something about Jacksonville. I love these bridges sometimes, man. They are old school. There was a bridge in Charleston. You had to not just buckle in, you needed a safety vest. They knocked it down, the old Cooper River Bridge, or as they call it, Cooper River Bridge. They've got bridges like that around here in Jacksonville where, you'd be. I don't like Jacksonville necessarily, but we're going to Lick City.
I don't think anyone likes Jacksonville.
Carson Beck does. And Carson was talking about how
that's a show. No one likes Jacksonville, honestly. You can say you like Jacksonville, but you don't mean it.
I am not a giant fan of Jacksonville. What the hell is happening here?
I think you're in the right spot.
Am I correct?
I think you're in the right spot.
I just think he's got to play better. The guy is chill as all get out, which is the good part here. He is not. I don't know if he's pressing or not, but he's totally chilled out. Nothing seems to bother him. I got a 500 millimeter on the guy the whole game. And when he threw the second pick, Kirby just talked to him and I got a photo of that. Everybody was in the way, but I got one frame, and you can tell it bothers him. I can't. We're using my phone to get the quotes, y'all, but I'll throw it to Matt after I say this. He said, I was I think he said, what am I going to do? Get mad? He said, I was mad. He said, I threw it in the trash, and he said, went on to play. He said, it's hard to do that in certain moments, which he's right, man. In my life, I'll just say this. In my life, there are things that happen sometimes that I'm this really, I don't like this. And it's not even something I've done. And this drives me crazy. But what are you going to do? Not tie the shoelaces, Matt? Yeah. You know what I'm talking about?
And it worked because he did bounce back in the fourth quarter with a drive to Arian Smith. I think he hit a pass to Lawson Lucky, and he ended it with Dom Lovett. That's the drive they need. They had it against Texas and Austin at the end of the third quarter, beginning of the fourth. After 3 interceptions, he came back with a big drive with some strong throws. That confidence was there. He put the 3 picks behind him. Now, the 3 picks can't happen in Oxford, Mississippi.
Correct.
This needs to be a fix this week. And it would be nice if they got a little healthier, especially at running back. And I don't know if Micah Morris is gone or how long he'll be gone, but Xavier Truss also has to play better.
Yeah.
Dylan Bell, Dom Lovett, everyone still has to play better.
We got a while.
But Carson Beck has got to turn down the turnovers. That's what's killing this team. That's the only reason they could have lost this game was turnovers and bad Carson Beck quarterback play.
Every day in your life, bad things happen, and particularly when you're playing sports, and I don't know, 8 million people may watch this game, something like that. So, there's a lot of things, and there's could be you can overreact, you can underreact, but for me, the part that I like about Carson, the part that I've liked since I met him in 18 or 19, was he does not. No one wants the turnovers. No one wants the turnovers. But if you're going to play freaking quarterback at Georgia, you're going to throw picks. You're going to be in big games. You're going to be in big games where you throw picks, Stetson Bennett, and you're going to have to come back and be a freaking man against Ohio State and get it done. Period. That's what this is. I'd look at the camera right now, but I can't. All he's got to do is play better. That's it. It's not like the guy's got to run a freaking marathon on Saturdays. He just has to play better. Not even in big moments, Matt. He just has to finish drives. I'm sorry. Not even in big moments, Ryan. He just has to finish drives. It's okay for Peyton Woodring to roll out there and stroke in 50-yard field goals. That is a completely correct Jeopardy answer. Whenever Woodring goes on the field, even if the guy misses it at this point, if he's kicking it, you had a successful moment.
Yeah, I mean,
What about that play from the Gators? Couldn't even snap the ball. That was a disaster.
That was huge.
That was a disaster.
That was a huge play for
disaster.
Georgia. Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, he's just got to be better. They've got to cut these turnovers out, and they'll be in much better shape. What is happening is they're winning football games, and like you said, these moments are learning opportunities for the future.
He has to have learned by now, right?
He has to have learned.
How many times you got to get punched in the face and be like,
I
don't want to get punched in the face anymore.
It's happened enough now. It just
make sure
they know that. What are we making sure?
We're making sure people are signing up for the newsletter. Everybody watches these. Tens of thousands of people watch these. Go see Scott and Minnie downtown in Red Zone. The Tennessee's game's going to be nuts. The UMass game, maybe not. Make sure you're going to UMass game at Red Zone. Make sure you're going to there for the Black Friday game. But, y'all, the biggest way you can support us is by signing up for our newsletter, and that matters a lot. We really appreciate all the support from everybody. I don't need lessons about driving. I drive all the time. I talk with my hands. I'm fine. Don't worry about me driving with the telling me I have two hands on the wheel. What are you talking about?
This exit.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I think that it's fair to call out the offensive. I think it's fair to call out the offensive line a little bit in terms of the run game, right? Because look, these backs are talented. Etienne is talented. Cash Jones is talented. Nate Frazier is talented. The left one. And they're not running the ball that well. 4 yards per carry is fine. It's getting the job done, but these are explosive running backs. We saw it against Clemson that Nate Frazier has big playability. We know that Trevor Etienne has big playability. He showed it against Tennessee Tech, whatever, but he's shown it in other games as well. The run game has to be better. It will help Carson Beck out more. Matt and I were talking about in the press box a little bit. Florida was keyed in on the run, and they were stopping it very well at the beginning of the game. Yeah. Georgia, part of the reason why they're throwing the ball so much, which they're throwing the ball too much if you ask me. Yeah. Carson, 40 times tonight. It's probably too many times.
Well, there we go. 40 times,
50 times 2 other times. And it's too much. But part of it is because they're not running as successfully as they did in the past. I think that it is a little bit on the offensive line. And this isn't the offensive line that we thought it was going into the season. Why can I say that? I can say that because we projected them to be the best offensive line in the country, and it hasn't been that.
Why are you going 90 miles an hour on a freaking motorcycle?
Exit 19.
Real quick, I want to say Nate Frazier's Gator chomp throat slash was pulled off to perfection. I thought it was very 5-star execution. He opened that Gator's mouth so wide.
He was way up there,
and then just chomped his head.
It was 12-6.
executed. Kirby Smart went off on him on the sideline.
You can't do
got in his grill.
You can't do
It's
the
worth
throat
it if you're
slash.
It was
the
Kirby.
throat slash.
It was worth it.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah. I
Shades
agree.
of Todd Gurley in 2013, 2012. When was that?
Yeah, it
That
was
a great
13.
one.
That was Wes Mullenberg nailing that shot back in the day. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
They opened that mouth big, chomped, gone, buddy.
I think
Dunzo.
I will say this for the Gators. You know, they left or right, left. They definitely fought. They're playing better.
That kicker can boom it.
Yeah. He's knocking them in there. This was a very good performance from Florida, man. I mean, I thought it was. I know they lost by 2 touchdowns. I get it. They had their third string quarterback or whatever it is now. Lagway wasn't doing a lot either, though. Can we be honest about that?
2 for 6.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't see enough of it to judge Lagway that much.
I mean, Kirby was not about to play that ball game. Jalen Walker went full wire on it. He said the game is the game. When he was asked if Lagway got knocked out, he said the game is the game. Yeah, exactly right.
It was a non-contact injury too. So
you feel terrible for the kid. I mean, don't get me wrong. I 5:45 in the morning is not a lot of fun, and then you go out for probably the year. I guess I don't know. I mean, I think this Florida team with Lagway or Mertz, they can beat LSU. They're not going to now. And it's too bad for them. Look, I have respect for Florida. I understand that they do a really good job of, they're a premier brand in college football. They're not real good right now. They're probably not going to be a lot better in the very near future, but they fought tonight. To their credit, they fought tonight.
They're better than we thought they were going to be this season. We
sure.
thought it was going to be a total disaster. Now, 4-8 might actually be likely now, right?
Correct.
I mean, LSU, Texas, Florida State, they could win that game, but
They'll win Florida
so
State.
they actually are probably going to end up with a similar record to what a lot of people were predicting. I think us in the car
But
thought
maybe not
they might not
getting
get
there.
to. But it wasn't as bad as you thought.
No.
For Billy Napier, I don't know if this will be his last season or not. I can't really tell.
Isn't that crazy?
his guys are fighting hard.
They're
for him.
fighting
really
hard
are.
for him, and they're better than they were projected to be, and I think that you have to give them a little bit of credit for that.
Well, you also
They should not have been in this game.
You have to connect.
They should
him with
not,
DJ
but they were
Lagway.
in this
But
game.
they were in this game.
For 2 reasons: A, Carson turnovers; B, because they fought. And if you're them, like Georgia Tech could do the same exact thing to Georgia, Matt, if Carson has a bad night. But we watched Penn State, Ohio State. It was bad.
It was bad, and so was
This
game.
was not much better. Now Georgia scored 30. What was the final score?
34-20.
Georgia scored 34 points, playing like complete turd.
So I think the list of schools that you can't trust.
Georgia's in there.
Georgia's in
there.
that list.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say that same
Yeah.
thing earlier to you.
Yeah,
actually.
you can't because they just don't. You cannot trust their offense. You can trust their defense.
Well, look, the
For the
list of
most
schools you can't trust is the entire country.
I
right now.
agree, but I think
Oregon's pretty trustable.
At the
Well,
moment,
at the moment.
I
that
guess
is the
so.
thing. The thing you can give Oregon is
I-
it's been a long time since they struggled.
they do not play in this league,
No,
and this league is not like other leagues at all, and they do not play in this league. They're good. They are either the best team in the country or the second best team in the country.
They have a loss with Georgia's schedule.
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, Georgia's played Alabama,
On the
Texas, on the road, Clemson. Now I don't know what's going on in those teams this weekend, but Oregon's not dealt with the circumstances yet that Georgia has, which are these challenging. The Big Ten's not that great. It's okay. I mean, Michigan's got 4 losses. I mean, it's just not an ideal.
oh,
Clemson's getting crushed.
Louisville is
Yeah.
beating
See, I
Clemson.
was concerned about
27-20 South Carolina.
Kentucky's up 10-7.
Kentucky's down. Or Kentucky's down.
that. Yeah, listen.
SMU going to town on Pitt.
You'd better be ready when the frickin' whistle is blown, because if you're not, you can lose in this college football season. The good news for Georgia, Oregon, Texas is that they have a wider margin of error than other teams, but it's not 2019 LSU, 2020 Alabama, 21 and 22 Georgia. this is much tighter. I mean, Michigan won the national championship last year, not being a great elite team. They were good. They would not beat those other teams.
They had an elite defense.
They would not beat those other teams that I just mentioned. And you could throw 18 Clemson in there. I
think 23 Michigan could win the title this year.
They could.
Yeah.
They could. But what I'm trying to express is this is not the time to not play well, although we've seen Georgia not play well against Kentucky. I guess they didn't play well against Florida, man. Carson Beck didn't play well.
Yeah, I would say that.
That's the difference. Yeah. I mean,
he's touching the ball every offensive snap.
40 throws is a lot.
You're going to make it. I mean, that's what I said.
But they're not. There's a reason why he's throwing it 40 times.
He's going to obliterate the pass attempts record for Georgia this season. He's on pace to beat.
He almost certainly has.
He's on pace to beat Stetson's 15-game record in 13 games. It might be faster than that.
There's no way another quarterback at Georgia. I don't know this. There's no way another quarterback at Georgia has more interceptions in a season than him right now.
Can you throw your way out of a slump?
He has 11 interceptions.
Like shooting.
That's
just not.
And there's 4 more regular season games.
That's way too many.
I think that Aaron threw 11 at one point.
Under Kirby.
Oh, under Kirby, this is probably.
I mean, Jake Fromm didn't throw the ball hardly. I mean, Stetson did dumb stuff all the time, but Stetson had the capability to run with his feet. I did think that Carson had a really good pickup at one point too. I mean, look, they won by 14. They weren't completely sweating it in the last 4 minutes of the game necessarily. It felt like it for the 56 minutes before that to some degree. I mean, gifting 10 points in the first half to Florida, I would call it gifting. He didn't throw a pick six, but...
Well, Georgia had the momentum before every single interception, too.
Completely.
Like, you just felt like something good was going to happen, and then it's a bonehead interception. Yeah. Florida gets life, and they took advantage first play on that. After the first interception, I believe, a touchdown, and what looked like was going to be 10-0 Georgia turned into 7-3
game probably
Florida.
Over at that point.
I mean,
but I want to say this. And this is kind of a strange thing to express. I don't. People think this is a thing, and it may well be a thing. The interceptions. It doesn't feel like it's a thing to Carson. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Well, that's going to make a lot of people mad.
I don't care if it makes people mad. I mean, it
might be the truth.
No, what it feels that. I don't know what fact is because I can't get into. Only Carson knows what it's like to be in Carson's head. But I don't get the impression that he's like, oh, should I throw another ball or not? Like he's not like that. He doesn't care. Man.
Shooting throwers.
Anthony Edwards last night was asked about, do you shoot too many threes?
And this is
a G-rated. Yeah, I mean, no.
No, sir.
No. I mean, go do it, and we'll take it from there. Ryan.
Final thoughts? Or we keep going?
No, Ryan's wrapping it. Yeah.
Ryan's wrapping it up.
Ryan and then Matt and then I'll
there are obviously problems with this team, but we've been saying that for a long time. None of the problems that we saw today are things that we haven't seen throughout the course of the season. There are a lot of problems with a lot of teams in the country. This is still championship contender, but they need to play better. One more road game against Ole Miss, and then they've got the comfort of being at home to round out the season for 3 weeks. We've been saying it's got to be better a lot. It's got to be better next week because Ole Miss does have a lot of talent, and if you catch Georgia on the wrong day and Ole Miss on the right day, Ole Miss can win that football game.
For sure.
So they just got to play better on offense. The defense has been really good. It's been a long time since the defense hasn't played well, and that was the first half of the Bama game. Yeah. So they're good. They're not perfect. They're gonna have to gut this season out.
Yes,
I think you're right. I think this team can still win a national championship, and I think that this win, even though it wasn't pretty at all, and it was close for just about the whole game, should be celebrated. 4 straight wins over Florida. If you grew up in the 90s, early 2000s, I mean, this is a special rivalry, and again, Georgia fans may have the expectations, but the team does too. They're not playing up to their expectations or their standard, but this is still a win that should be celebrated. I think Georgia fans should be very happy tonight.
If you think Georgia, Tennessee, Georgia, Carolina, Georgia, I mean, all these, this game is more important than Georgia, Auburn. This game is as big a game as Georgia plays. If you don't want to talk about that, then you weren't there tonight. This is Georgia's biggest game that they play in the regular season. It's important in a way that Auburn never has been, and it's different in importance than Tech. Tech is important too in its own weird way, but the panic, this game always freaking delivers, man. This game always delivers. And tonight in the fourth quarter, Georgia had that momentum. The lights were great, but I just want to stress this as the colors are so beautiful. Honestly, I know that's so stupid to say, I guess, but Georgia with red and silver, the Gators with that orange, but the blue pops so hard. It's a beautiful thing to photograph. And I feel very fortunate that I get to be on the field shooting that. I'm exhausted currently, but I am very blessed, pleased, whatever you want to say. I'm happy that I get the ability to do this and see these things, because this is a special rivalry that is hard to put into words, and it matters so much for both these teams. It matters so much for those people in the stands. You can tell. And, what other game did Georgia kids jump into the stands? It doesn't happen. They didn't do that after Ohio State.
No.
They didn't do it after Alabama. They didn't do that after. I think someone did it at the Orange Bowl just because they were from. It was
the crowd was great tonight.
From the Gators too.
Yeah, everyone.
It's one of the great spectacles of sport.
Environments.
It is amazing. It is an amazing thing that Georgia people should really be happy to participate in. And tonight they got a win, a 14-point win over their arch rival. Not the satisfactory of the 2017 game, but a great win nonetheless. And I didn't notice the colors changing over the bridge, over the incident.
It happened quick,
very quick.
It got dark quicker than.
But but the game was a struggle. But it's such a beautiful game, and it's just so hard to. It is the equivalent to me of the Yankees and the Red Sox playing the ALCS. That's what it feels like. The total, just grinding. I don't know about hate, but the grinding annoyance of the other side and the expectation of your side. This is a special game, and people should really. I don't know. And tonight I think
enjoy it.
Yeah, I think people should enjoy it more than they do. But I don't know. Last thing, what you tell me about the enjoyment of some people?
You're getting all mushy, man.
Yeah, I am.
This was the easiest day I've ever had at that stadium.
But
actually.
What about it's called the world's largest outdoor cocktail party.
This was the drunkest crowd I've ever seen in my entire life.
And you covered 50
Yeah, this was the drunkest crowd I've ever seen. Yeah. I should have talked about that earlier. People were passed out up against the wall, all passed out.
This is Georgia, Florida.
Now, I will say, every passed out person did have someone like there, to pet them, to caress them. Yeah, but I mean, there was an old man.
Rubbing their hair.
There was an old man. Yeah. It was like that. There was an old man that was a Georgia fan. A lot of them were Georgia fans.
Of course.
They were sitting down.
They go really
Now, I
hard,
realized I was actually around the Georgia side a lot more, but. This old guy was sitting there all drunk and about to pass out. I think it must have been his son or something, trying to get him up. And the cop, they don't care. They didn't care at all. I've never seen so much drunk loud. I took a picture. You'll see when you go through it of the trash in the parking lot. I took a picture with the big lens.
So bad.
Oh my God!
It's so bad.
The amount of beer cans and just all of the seltzer, all of Dean's seltzer cans are out there. I mean,
nice.
It is a party, but today was the drunkest crowd I've seen in the 60-something Georgia games I've been to.
And there's no explanation for it. You had the number 2 team in the country.
Because it's Georgia, Florida. It's this.
Right.
It's this game.
I agree.
It's just different.
It is. Like Georgia, Tennessee, it's not like this, man. I mean, that's a big game. But like
you have the Jacksonville nonsense mixed in with the rivalry.
Completely
the tats
everywhere.
The shorts.
I gotta get a
lack of shirts.
Before I leave.
You need
I gotta
get
sleeves,
gauges. Matt. You need a sleeve.
I need one of those eyebrow earrings.
I would get Duval tatted on me. I would. That's kind of an inside joke with me and my buddies, though.
It has to go on your leg, though. I think if you want to live here.
Duval on my messed up leg, maybe.
Yeah.
it's so the chaos, the passion,
It's grimy,
insane.
man.
It is totally grimy. It's like
Grimy.
it was New Orleans like little brother or something, Jacksonville. But
It's ghetto. I mean, it's kind of ghetto.
It is
that
kind
okay
down
for me
there.
to
It's
say?
down there. It's ghetto for sure.
I mean,
And-
a lot of smells
that's not an
going
offensive
on.
word, right?
I'm sorry. Is weed legal in Florida or not?
No, but it was loud. It was loud in Duval today.
Yeah.
The weed,
Yeah.
the drinking, the weed. It's just like it is such.
Well, we actually saw commercials for it.
Yeah,
today.
that's what I'm
There were
trying to
commercials
figure
about
out
they
what's
want to
going
get
on
weed
here.
They're trying
safer
to
down
vote
here,
on it.
man. They're
So,
trying
but
to-
I don't. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, this game is such a party.
They are open.
They're still open. This game is such a party. It's insane, and it's hard to put into words. I don't know. It's just such an important game.
Yeah, I'm about to pound a triple-decker burger, man.
Okay.
I'm
Matt?
destroying it.
Are you gonna
Big
behave?
win.
Are you
Big
gonna
win.
behave in here? All right.
No, I'm not going to behave.
All right.
Here.
All right. We'll see y'all in the next video.